'Tis Ray. I feel like every video lately I've been starting off with, well, I haven't done videos lately because so on and so forth, but I think a lot of people know there's a lot of stuff going down right now with weather in Texas and Florida and stuff, so bypass all that while at the same time sticking to that. I wanted to talk about one of the things that a lot of us are seeing on social media lately. Conspiracy theorists. And these are nothing new. It's nothing that we haven't heard before. And a lot of people, ironically, will call people conspiracy theorists for something that hasn't been proven yet when the government has a long history of hiding things from the citizens that usually comes out decades later. But there's one conspiracy out there that a lot of people are speaking on. I forget the terminology or whatever y'all use for it now, the abbreviated so-and-so, or the actual name of basically the government playing God and controlling the weather. I seen a couple of Christians and Israelites on my pages who basically said, at the same time, we're in our last days, like always. And then they mention scripture regularly to prove their theory that we are living in our last days, just like their parents and their parents' parents and so on and so forth. A couple people said, if you can't prove it with scripture, why even mention it? Because it's obviously not true. This isn't about religion. Whatever your affiliation is, to each their own. However, I did think it would be at least somewhat decent to mention a couple of conspiracy theorists or theories that a lot of people all throughout history basically did the same thing with. And then it turned out to be true. Go figure. One, heart attack gun. There was a lot of word around town saying that the government had came up with some super secret, top secret gun that could basically shoot people and give them a heart attack and leave no trace. And it turned out to be true. It was basically a gun that could pierce through clothing and everything else and send a certain poison through the bloodline that resulted in a heart attack that left no trace except for a little red dot. Also, one that we still talk about today as if it's not true, with the CIA spying on the American people, population, and controlling the media for their own reasons, obviously, which also turned out to be true. A lot of people, if you want or care to, research Operation Mockingbird. Basically, the CIA was going out there and paying journalists and spying on journalists and basically having them give the media what they wanted and not what was actually happening. During Prohibition, there was a bunch of hoopla and hearsay about the government poisoning alcohol. Turned out to be true. The government was upset that people were still going around illegally dispensing and partaking in alcohol. So they actually poisoned quite a bit of it, and hundreds of people died. Found out years and years later. Vaccines, touchy subject. One that I do not allow white people to ever speak to me about or teach me about or claim I'm an anti-vaxxer because I question everything. Not gonna go there. Whenever it comes to syphilis, which was, dare I say it, conspiracy theorists theory. There was one about the polio vaccine that claimed it was giving people cancer, similar to the vaccine today that a lot of us who have children with autism claim is causing that. Years and years and years later, after thousands of doses of the polio vaccine, turns out there was some kind of, simian virus 40, monkey virus. It was causing cancer. Very strange, but yeah. Gaydar. Silly. We all say it. We've all heard it. Also, a conspiracy theory at one time that the government had gaydar that could tell who was gay. Didn't work, but it was true. Canadian government did that one. Infiltration into political movements. Hearsay. Even today, people will say the Black Panthers are a terrorist threat against the government, yada yada, so on and so forth. COINTELPRO. Very real. They went out of their way to infiltrate the Black Panthers and the Chicano movement and several other movements that involve people of color wanting human rights. They would go out of their way to tell spouses that they were cheating with other members. They would plant dope on people, similar today. They basically destroyed every single movement except for the KKK because, well, white supremacy and whatnot. So whenever it comes to certain things like this, we have to at least try our hardest, as crazy as it sounds, to not leave the far-fetched out of our mind as far as the what ifs and what could be. I know a lot of people today, gosh, and I hate the word so freaking much. There's a secret organization of wealthy people who control everything. It's Illuminati. I hate the word Illuminati because people use it without understanding what it means, and it's basically the unknown by definition. Unknown organizations or things you don't know about. Not a conspiracy theory, but not called Illuminati. It was actually called Bohemian Grove. There are so many things that society does, or society is unaware of, that the government does, that we don't find out until whistleblowers pop up and let it all be known. And that's basically what a lot of this happened to be. The whistleblowers, the people who couldn't keep their mouths shut, the people who felt like society had the right to know. It is what it is. So, not that I personally am not completely ignorant to the idea of how weather can be manipulated, or if white supremacy, white men, God complex. There are absolutely no links that they will go or not go through and to in order to play God and manipulate or dictate and control our bodies, our minds, our movements, our actions, everything. So don't be surprised if your grandkids end up telling you something that was proven that you called people stupid or ignorant or conspiracy theorists over. It is what it is. A lot of us believe we know a lot more than what we do and don't even actually have to do the research to find out that we are all-knowing. That God complex, shit rolls downhill. And it varies based on the laws we vote for when it comes to women's reproductive rights, to our own homes when we have unwanted children, or beat our kids for not following directions, or put them out of the house for being gay. Every proof, every fact, every known thing started out as conspiracy theory. From evolution and the theory of gravity to the world being round. So I guess that's all I wanted to say, because it's very, very, very hypocritical to see people who follow a certain faith that is followed by so many people that people forget it's just a theory. Sitting here telling other people with their own theories that they're the ones that are mental. From 9/11 to autism, so on and so forth. Anywho, I've got to get back to doing what I was doing with my writing and my reading, and not sure when I'll see you, but I guess I will see you when I see you.